Was good. Welcome to MegoxCast. I am your host, John, joined by,
Roman Ward.
oh yeah, for this episode. Today, we will talk about lost media. Now, Roman Ward, talk a little bit about yourself.
All right, I'm Roman. I am currently right now at the very moment on John's podcast. Be sure to check out his other videos and check out this video. But other than that, uh, I'm 21 and I'm interested in lost media and uh, internet urban legends and such.
All right. That's nice. Yeah, so I mean that is very interesting, and we'll get to that first topic. What and how is lost media? So, how would you describe it, Roman, to people
All
that
right.
don't know what it is?
Lost media is pretty much anything movies, TV shows, games, magazines, books, whatever. Anything that was once available to the public and just isn't anymore. Usually because someone didn't keep track of it and lost it, or maybe someone just doesn't want whatever that is to be released to the public. So at one point, it had to be shown to the public so they were known about it, and then it just isn't anymore, and you can't watch it.
Yeah. No, that's a very good description of what lost media is. Yeah, if I were to add anything, it's just media that people want to see but they can't see, and it sucks. Or it was like that, now it's not, or it's even rare.
Yeah,
Like sometimes it's like it's there, but it's like no one knows about it. All right, yeah, let's go to the first topic. I mean, I guess this was the first topic, but let's go to the main first topic, movies. So, a lot of movies, come out every year, so I don't get why people complain, bitch and complain about movies not coming out, but I guess it's a big deal. But there are a few that are just gone, bruh. Like I can't be asked, or were gone. Do you have
yeah.
a do you have any do you have a good how about you start, Rome? What do you think?
It's kinda weird. I mean, because it's kinda sad too that movies are something that are, like, incredibly expensive to make. They time consuming, it's a lot. It probably takes just about a year to get one rolling. And if something, like, releases to the public, a lot of times, if maybe people don't like it or maybe not enough people saw it, it'll just disappear. Uh it's almost as if, as of right now, there are more lost movies than there are publicly available movies, which is a little hard to believe, but it is true.
Yeah, a lot of the
Especially,
silent films are
yeah,
just gone,
the,
like
yeah,
90% from my knowledge.
it makes sense because there was a time where once the movie releases to the public, unless it's a big smash hit, then after it has its initial run, it's just stored in some vault somewhere. Maybe it'll get reshown at a theater again or whatever, but other than that, it just gets put in a vault. And
Mhm.
a lot of times these movies, I guess, didn't do so well. Maybe people didn't like them, didn't understand them, or thought, "Yeah, that was just mid." And the companies were like, "Hey, you know what? That was pretty mid. Let's just store it away in this little closet or this container, and we'll use it for something else."
Mhm. Yeah, I
And
mean,
yeah,
a good one to start off with, I'd say, London After Midnight, I gotta say. Because it's like it's funny because that one's kinda like the first one where it's like, I mean, it was a bad influence. A
yeah,
lot of things nowadays are a bad influence and are, banned, but that one literally, like, got someone inspired to just kill a woman with, like, a razor, and then they were like, "Nope, can't show it anymore."
see, the
And
crazy thing about London After Midnight is I don't know who decided this, but it is like the holy grail of lost media. All right.
Mhm.
Anytime any lost media is brought up on like YouTube or a documentary, London After Midnight is always brought up. But the
Yeah.
craziest thing about it is um, from all the reviews from back in the day, from all the people who have actually seen it, they said it was just all right. And partially the reason why not only, the murderers, because of this movie, apparently. Another reason why it kinda got lost is because it was just okay, you know? This would basically be like a modern straight to DVD or hell, straight to fucking Tubi or straight to YouTube kind of movie.
Yeah.
And it has this really mystic reputation about it, which is kind of it's weird. And partially too is the immense search for it. This is like Indiana Jones would be searching for this movie. It was found actually. A I forgot who exactly, but a cinephile was looking for this movie back in the day because he wanted to watch it, and he
Mhm.
called up the original studio that did produce the movie, and he's like, "Hey, do you guys have this?" "Sure, we do. Let me just check." "Oh, it's destroyed." It was destroyed. They found the original film roll and it couldn't play at all. It was destroyed. So
Dude,
then they called up another production company. They were just calling production companies around uh, the country. It was um, screened at, and another one had it, but it burned in a fire a few years ago. So
for real?
yeah, really,
Dude.
everyone was so close to finding London After Midnight, and I think that's the funniest part of this whole search, and probably why it's a little infamous. Everyone was just so close, but like it it got destroyed each time. So now no one knows where the hell London After Midnight is. And in my opinion, I don't think it'll ever be found. It's too old. It's
It
too
is
mid.
very old. It's too mid too?
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, I
Well,
wouldn't
you
know.
know how it is.
Yeah.
It happens, you know what I'm saying? It's not always gonna be the time when you are able to watch those movies. But, no, I mean, yeah, that one was definitely a mid movie. I feel like a lot of movies are just meant to be forgotten, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, the A Day with SpongeBob, like, we're not even talking about the 3 SpongeBob movies that were made. We're talking about the, SpongeBob movie that was supposed to come out from, like, r it was like this production company named Regal or called Regal or something, and
Yeah.
not Regal, it's like Reagal, it's really weird, and it had, like, a really dumb plot, like, uh, the boss of SpongeBob. I don't think it was even Mr. Krabs. He was like, "Hey, yo, we
It
don't
was
have enough money."
Nickelodeon or like
It was
Nickelodeon.
Nickelodeon?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
it was like in like a separate universe where SpongeBob is real, but like it's like filmed on a set, I guess. But he's a
yeah.
cartoon and he's also a real sponge too. And he's like
Mhm.
famous in like the dry world and the water world too. It was weird.
Yeah, it's really dumb. And,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, and then there was, like, some kid and it was not even made. It was just, like, a really funny picture that people saw, and they were like, "Whoa, is that a real film?" Nope, it's not a real film. It's just, maybe I think a script was made, but it was
It was a
just never filmed.
pretty elaborate hoax.
Yeah,
We're
definitely.
still to this day not entirely sure what happened, but this is like you know how in the Harry Potter world they say he who cannot be named is like Voldemort?
Mhm.
Well, in the really niche neckbeard no, I shouldn't say neckbeard, that's mean. The niche,
No,
lost
they're all
media
neckbeards,
world
come on.
yeah, alright. I mean, I too have a neckbeard, and I'm a lost media searcher. Haven't left
Dang.
my basement in years, but anyway, um, that is a movie that you can't bring up because the disappointment in finding out that this movie didn't exist at all was fucking huge back in the day. The search started in 2011. People found the listing for A Day with SpongeBob on Amazon back in 2011. And they're like, oh my God, we have to watch this. So searching all over the internet, asking around, have you seen this movie? Have you seen this movie? And then people just determined it exists and just isn't released.
Dude, for
Eventually,
real?
though, yeah. Yeah, they
Dang.
thought this thing was real. Eventually, somebody came forward who calls himself Mr. Orange, who probably most likely was
Was he
the
Mr.
original
Orange from
creator.
Reservoir Dogs?
Honestly, they were both pretty scummy guys, so I'm sure.
Oh,
I'm
yeah, an undercover cop is a really scummy guy.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, come on, they were just trying to pull a little hype. What's wrong with that? Boys will be boys.
Of
Sure, a
course.
couple people died, but what are you gonna do?
Oh my god.
No one died though. Trying to find a dad with SpongeBob though. Thank God.
So what did Mr. Orange say?
So he said originally for privacy reasons and also being afraid of being getting sued by Nickelodeon because this had nothing to do with Nick at all. He wasn't gonna release the movie. But you know what? If you donate some money to me, I think I just might release it. Now, of course, people were a little skeptical. They even, I guess, found other people that were involved in A Day Out with SpongeBob. And okay, well, one important detail to add is on the DVD cover with the stock image kid and the stolen SpongeBob art is that on the top, you can probably, kids at home, you can look this up on Google and look at the image and you can see what I'm talking about. On the top are these reviews. One says, fantastic, total crowd pleaser. Another one says, great film, very creative. That's fine and dandy, but these quotes are from people and companies that don't exist. If you
For
look them up on
real?
Google, you get nothing because it's all bullshit.
Dude.
So this movie, or I guess this little meme, A Day with SpongeBob, got a lot bigger than mysterious Mr. Orange thought that it was going to be, you know?
Mhm.
Uh so I guess the pressure started cracking down on him and somebody offered to interview him. This I forget which year this was, but this was some time after 2011. I think it was 2017.
Dude.
And he finally admitted, "All right, listen, A Day with SpongeBob was just a scam. Okay, it was just a scam. What we wanted was for people to donate, thinking they would get this movie, but there was never going to be a movie, and there never will be a movie. So the lost media community spent almost a decade trying to find a movie that never existed in the first place. And through that time, there were a lot of fake leads. Like there were people that came forward to say, I found the original script because I personally know the guy who was going to make it. And it was all bullshit. I found merch that was going to be released with the movie. Bullshit. It was just a lot of bullshit being passed around for the sake of a little bit of internet clout. And after all of that, it never existed. And that's the really unfortunate thing about lost media is now that searching for lost media itself has become so immensely popular, there's going to be a lot of bullshit. A lot of people who are going to make up examples of lost media that never existed, or will come up with fake leads and fake screenshots from movies that are lost but aren't that at all. Another pretty big example of that is this lost anime called Go for a Punch. As
Bruh.
all great stories start, this one started on 4chan of all places.
4chan, bruh. Oh yeah, that was a thing when I was younger. I always actually nowadays I say it too cuz I was just saying when I was younger it happened. There was a guy, I think I gave him my number or something and he said I'm going to
Oh,
share it
well.
on 4chan or something. And then ever since then I've just been saying that to people and people really take it seriously. I guess they think they get in trouble or something. They'll
I'm
get
gonna
in
be
trouble.
honest. Yeah, I mean, if someone said they'd leak my number to 4chan, I'd be scared shitless because, like, anyone could get that, and 4chan is relentless. They might not care, but, maybe they'll, order, like, 40 pizzas to your house and have you pay for them or something.
Hopefully that's the worst they do.
Yeah, or, stream
They
swipe.
might they might make you go bye-bye.
It might make
All
you,
right, talk about this anime.
oh, that's right. Yeah, lost media. So basically someone went on, an anime forum on there, and said, "Hey, does anybody remember this anime called Go for a Punch? I remember seeing it years ago, and I thought it was really cool, but I can't seem to find it anywhere." Everyone was like, "Okay, well, maybe if you describe it, maybe I might remember it." And of course, being 4chan, they came up with some of the most like awful, degenerate plot you could think of. It was about teenagers after hours in a school who get locked in a bathroom. And after being locked in the bathroom for so long that they start like eating each other, you know?
Oh, sounds fun.
Yeah. So for some reason, this sparked a ton of interest and everyone wanted to see Go for a Punch. So they weren't really sure where to start because all they had to lead off the search was just again one person saying they saw this movie like a long time ago. Um, Through this search, a few fake leaks came out of the woodwork. There was a screenshot of a anime girl covered in blood saying, "Hey, this is from the anime. I found a screenshot of it." Another person claims they found a script. Um, Unlucky for everyone, compared to the day it was SpongeBob, is that nobody came forward about it, and everyone kind of just assumed it was fake because nothing at all came from this search. We've
For
been
real?
searching for it for about a decade now,
Oh my
and
gosh.
absolutely no leads, absolutely nothing. It might have just been more bullshit.
Dude, that sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, it is anime though.
Yeah, and also I'm kind of fine with that being lost because I don't know. I don't want to see that.
Why would I want to see a bunch of teenagers eat themselves?
Well, 4chan might. That's probably why they really.
Probably. They
Uh,
are kind of weird. Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, some directors, like they don't even want their movies out. You know what I'm saying? You said
Yeah.
I think I remember you saying that at one point. You said that like Tarantino or and Edgar Wright, and you had a story about Edgar Wright, right?
Yeah, I did. I remember telling you that in like film class.
Oh yeah.
Uh, but first, John, do you have any examples of lost media? Maybe you shot a movie that you weren't super proud of that you intentionally decided to not release to the public, or maybe there's a movie that you shot or something on your phone that you
Yeah.
just lost, right?
Yeah.
Anything you can think of, literally anything has lost media. Anything,
Definitely.
including famous director of Scott Pilgrim versus the World and Hot Fuzz and Baby
Ooh.
Driver 2, has lost media. And I have a bit of a personal story to tell about that one.
Oh really?
Oh, yeah, baby.
Oh yeah.
Gather around the campfire, kids.
All right.
All right. So, um, I'm a pretty big fan of Edgar Wright and a bit of big fan of his movies. And as a person who's trying to be a director, I always like checking out directors' really, really early works. The earliest we have of Edgar Wright is a movie called Fistful of Fingers that was released on VHS and only on YouTube.
Mhm.
Um, so I was watching a very old video when he was a teenager advertising Fistful of Fingers, an interview, and he was talking about, yeah, before I made this one, I made a couple other ones, Dead Right and Carbolic Soap. Now, Dead Right is also available on YouTube. It's a pretty early movie by him. He made it when he was 20. But
Mm.
I noticed he mentioned another one called Carbolic Soap. Now, I'm a pretty big fan of his earlier short film, Dead Right and Fistful of Fingers. So naturally, I had to check out Carbolic Soap. So I looked all over the internet, and what do you know? Nothing.
For real?
It's yeah, nothing. It's not anywhere. It's lost,
Bruh.
bruh. So I realized, oh my god, someone has to have it. So I did a bit more research and I saw on Twitter he posted a flyer advertising carbolic soap. And this movie dates back to his high school days. The flyer basically said, "Hey guys, come to lecture room B. I'll be screening Carbolic Soap, my first ever movie, the first movie of Edgar Wright."
All right.
And on the flyer, it said, "And if you enjoyed the movie, you can buy a VHS for $5." Now that sparked my interest because somebody back then had to have liked his movie. It's Edgar Wright. Of course, it's
Yeah, of course.
17-year-old Edgar Wright, but it's Edgar Wright nonetheless. So it's got to be good enough for someone to want to keep. So I went on the Lost Media subreddit. I went on the Lost Media forums and anywhere I could to spread the word about this now lost Edgar Wright movie, Carbolic Soap. So, fast forward a couple months after me spreading the word as much as I can and no leads, I got a message from somebody on Reddit. Um, just created the account yesterday, and he told me he has a copy of Carbolic Soap on VHS because he saw my post. And this excited me because I thought my search was over. I could finally get the VHS from this guy, maybe watch it, have a good time. So I asked
Yeah, I
him,
would do it too.
"Can you, send it?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure, I could send it for 500 bucks, bitch."
Oh my
Insane.
god, he even added the bitch.
Now he did not say that was just me. That's what it felt like
Mm.
for 500 bucks. So, at the time, I didn't have 500 bucks. Was not gonna pay 500 bucks for, like, a VHS. Matter of fact,
I mean,
I
who
was
would?
real skeptical too, like, "Are you lying to me?" Then he sent a picture of the VHS, and in his hand, very crusty looking, but the real deal carbolic soap on VHS. And the crazy thing about that is the only possible way you could at all add this in your possession is if you knew Edgar Wright in high school and you went to a screening and you bought the VHS. And that is a pretty low percentage of people. I mean, even if everyone in the audience, which might not have even been that many people, did go and get that VHS, the chances of decades and decades after that movie was first screened, of people losing the VHS or maybe it being donated or breaking or something, or even having it intact and knowing exactly what you have is really slim. So for this person to come forward too, was a pretty big deal. It's just I didn't have 500 fucking dollars to spend on it.
Exactly.
And in hindsight, I should have just went in my piggy bank because the next day he goes on an auctioning site, a British auctioning site, because that's I guess where he's from, and he lists the VHS. And there's a countdown for when the thing will be auctioned off, which is exactly 1 month from now at the time. So that gave me a bit of a mission. I had exactly 1 month to try to raise 500 bucks to buy this VHS. Crazy, man. So I immediately got a job at Albertsons, some store, and tried to tell the boss, please give me a bunch of hours. But, I was new, so they really couldn't. I also tried going on Reddit and trying to maybe crowdfund something and get people to donate for the betterment of, I guess, lost media and film history preservation. Of course, after a lot of previous people saying, "Hey guys, give me money so I can release this lost media," and it turning out to be a fake, a lot of people didn't trust that. So, fast forward a month, the carbolic soap VHS gets sold to some anonymous person for about, I think it was $6,000.
Oh my gosh, 6,000. That was a lot. More than you were gonna pay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's it sucks. Cause it was the bidding started at 500 and it just kept going up and up and up. And honestly, part of me kind of wishes I didn't post about it so much and so many people didn't, I guess, find out about this and want to buy it. But it's now in the hands of some random collector in Britain. And this happened about a year ago. And
Mhm.
I've been waiting patiently for something of Carbolic Soap to release and nothing. And it sucks. But there is one good thing that came out of this experience.
Oh, what's that?
So, while I was during the time that I was trying to raise the money for it, Edgar Wright himself, the director, noticed that this was being posted everywhere and it got wind of him. So he went on his Instagram and like kind of like posted about it like, ha ha, this meme I made, this movie I made when I was 17 is being sold for more than the actual budget was. That's pretty neat. And I noticed in the comment section some of his old classmates that still followed him, which I thought was kind of sweet, were commenting how they remember going to the screening after school back in the day. One was mentioning, yeah, I brought my girlfriend at the time, and we had a really nice time watching Carbolic Soap. Or I remember buying the VHS and bringing it home and showing my parents, and they really liked it. And they said, "Oh, that guy's got a future in directing," or something like that.
Mhm.
So that showed that more and more people did have the VHS. So I thought, what better way to try to get this thing released is to ask Edgar Wright himself. So I did, it was a long shot, but I commented and tagged Edgar Wright. Hey, man, will you ever at all release this movie? Because if there's anyone that has to have it, it's Edgar Wright. So I think, right?
Mhm.
But he replies to my comment and says, I'm sorry, I don't have it anymore. And even if I did have it, I couldn't possibly release it because I don't see a movie I made when I was 17 having any, commercial value. I don't see anyone wanting to buy it. It wouldn't make a lot of money. Not only that, but back then, since he wasn't, I guess, didn't think that this would get a wide release, he used copyrighted music. So he'd likely get some kind of copyright strike if he released this. So here I sit, 2023, waiting for Carbolic Soap to just leak somewhere. I really hope it does one day, and I really hope I get to see it. I don't know if I will, though.
Well, hopefully you're able to watch it, you know?
That would be cool.
Yeah, I mean, you could always just, bribe one of the so you said, you try to reach out to Edgar Wright, but you did not reach out to the, you know, high school
Oh, yeah.
friends?
I did reach out to them, but I haven't gotten a response from anyone,
Hmm,
which makes sense because if I had an original VHS from what would become a really famous director, I'd probably wanna hang on to that and not just give it to some random kid asking for it on the internet.
makes
I,
sense.
check back from time to time to see if they've even seen my messages, but, none of them have been open,
Ah,
and I'm
dang.
pretty sure that was my final shot too, so fingers crossed someone finds it,
I'd hope
and
so.
yeah, me too. That'd be cool. I even anytime I'm at a Goodwill or something, I go through the VHSs kinda just fingers crossed Carbolic Soap is just there.
Dude, no one's gonna drop that off at
I
Goodwill.
mean, not only that, but it was screened in, like, Britain, you know? So, how is it gonna make its way to fucking California?
Yeah, I mean, if someone wants it enough, they'll go to Britain and, find them.
True. That's
Mm,
gotta be me then.
That could be a whole YouTube video, actually.
Yeah,
Someone doing that.
that would be cool.
Yeah. Um, yeah, do you have any, other actually, you know what? I know you did have the Quentin Tarantino one, because he's not the only one, Edgar Wright, to have made a movie and then it's never shown, right?
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, Quentin Tarantino had this movie called My Best Friend's Birthday. Back then when he was working at the video store, um, him and his friends back there, coworkers, were like, "You know what? We watch movies all day. I think it'd be pretty cool if we made a movie." So they're like,
Mhm.
"Yeah, what? I'm Quentin Tarantino, and I think I could actually write and direct this thing." So they spent, I'm pretty sure, 2 years trying to save up money to fund this movie. Tarantino, too, himself even played a pretty big role in it. I'm pretty sure he was one of the main like side characters or
Bruh.
centers. And infamously, after it was done, he realized that he did not have at all what he thought he had. He thought he was making a masterpiece. Turns out he made pure shit.
And he also made a confession video.
Yeah, yeah. In one of the okay, picture, take note that this Quentin Tarantino is the writer and director of this movie. So anyone says, he had to think that, right?
Yeah.
In it, he plays a character who has a foot fetish. And he says, "I have a foot fetish."
Bruh.
Tarantino wrote himself to deliver this line. The context is him and his girlfriend, or his character's girlfriend, are talking about how he works at a shoe store, and she's all, "Oh, doesn't it suck to be around all this like stinky feet and all?" "Yeah, but I have a foot fetish, so it kind of works out." Yeah, I'm Tarantino.
Bruh.
So I guess um, only half of the movie is available, while the other half is completely missing. Now, Tarantino himself claims that the reason that is because while he was editing the movie, he something accidentally caught on fire, and
Mhm.
other half of the movie burned.
Cap.
While yeah, yeah. So I think he's just hiding it because he's embarrassed. I don't remember exactly how the first half of the movie got released. Maybe he showed it to some people and someone took it and leaked it or something. But the other half of the movie is completely gone. And it is a shame, but maybe it's for the best.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I really wanna watch a movie about, you know, someone that with a foot fetish. Oh,
Yeah.
wait. I'm kidding. No, I don't know. I mean, there are a lot of directors like that. I think even I mean,
Well,
this
that
film actually came out, what was it? The Stanley Kubrick. I know you know about that one. Forgot what the title was called, like Fear and Desire. That one's
oh,
actually on Amazon Prime,
yeah.
and that one just goes against everything that Stanley Kubrick wanted, because he didn't want that one out, right?
Nah, nah. Back in the day, again, another director's first movie. That's kind of a common theme with like directors is they make one movie and they're really embarrassed by it. So, but they like try to erase it. But hey, their other movies are good. Uh,
Mhm.
when Stanley Kubrick was a film student, he made this movie called Fear and Desire, which was about um, two soldiers getting trapped on enemy lines and trying to escape back to their base. It's pretty decent. It's really rough in a few places, but I don't think it's that bad. But Tarantino, on the other hand, thinks it's no. I'm stupid. Not Tarantino. Stanley Kubrick, on the other hand, hates this movie with a
For real?
so much so, in fact, that he, for most of his career, went out of his way to try to track down and find every single copy of it and destroy it or hide it just to make sure it doesn't go out.
That's one
Get
way to do it.
Yeah, because Kubrick is kinda, like, seen as, like, the perfect director. So for something to come out of something he made that's, like, bad or at least just mid, I guess is pretty embarrassing to that image of himself that he created. It's kinda like how, George Lucas tried to bury the original 1977 edition of Star Wars, which I'll bring up later, and the holiday special. Yeah, he said that if he could, he'd track down every copy and destroy it, and that's what Stanley Kubrick tried to do for a while. And he was pretty successful, until a fan found a copy in, I think a storage closet that was at one of the theaters that it was originally screened at. And this was well after Kubrick's death. I believe this was no, 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 no. This was in the early 90s, and it was finally released to the public in 2011. And you can stream it now, but if you do watch it, just know that Kubrick would probably his
Hate
ghost
you.
would hate you for it.
He'd be turning in his grave.
Yes, he would.
Um, all right then. I have one more film to mention, and then if you have any other ones, you can talk about them. Then we'll go to the next topic. Freakers or Freaky Freakers. It was like toy brand, or like like just this toy that was going to be released with this film, with this TV show called Freakers. It had its own budget and everything. They're about to make it, but it they gave them such a like really bad processor and operating software that just nothing was getting done. So he got some help, but he had to like make it a movie instead. Because he had only so much to work with. There was when they were recording the audio, like they literally only had like 1 to 2 hours. It was like you know, I guess one person said it was like speed directing, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
so when, more of the movie was made, they thought it was going to be made, but one night he woke up and then someone just stole everything. It's kind of like
Oh, sure.
yeah, sure. That's what I'm saying. It's kind of like with the whole Quentin Tarantino thing, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, he kept trying to make it. I don't know if it was made. I think it might have been, but it was just some clips are just seen now, but the animation is just really bad. It's just no one would even want to watch it.
You know what that reminds me of?
What?
Uh, you ever heard of Food Fight?
Oh yeah, Food Fight. Yeah, that's definitely another one where it's like that one had like a very small budget, was not really supposed to release. It's supposed to have like different actors and stuff like that. Actually, I think they ended up using the actors they were planning to use, but then when it was released, those actors aren't really that big anymore. Like Charlie Sheen, I think was supposed to play the main dog. I think he ended
Yeah.
up playing the main dog. And it's like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, why that? Why would you even make that? But, you
That
know,
has the same backstory. I'm sure this is also pretty capped, but the, people behind it claim that they had finished Food Fight and everything, and then one day somebody goes into their studio and steals the hard drives and computer, and now all of Food Fight, the finished movie, is gone, all of it. So then they have to start from scratch with way less of a budget, which explains why the animation looks so, like, ghastly and horrendous. That's another example of lost media, but, I doubt that actually exists, and I think they're just saying that so they can explain the bad animation.
yeah. Or they just don't have to release it. I don't
Yeah.
know. Maybe it was a thing to get out of paying money.
Oh, like that girl? That
Yeah,
HBO.
probably.
Yeah. That
Um,
that's
yeah,
lost media, but, like, that probably won't get released because like, it was like a tax write-off.
makes sense. Yeah. Do you have any other movies you'd like to mention?
No, other than that, besides Batgirl, not really.
Yeah. All right then. Let's go to television. Now, with television, when it comes to television, uh, you notice that you know back then, like television wasn't really held to the same standards as like movies. You know what I'm saying? It was it was just on, and then no one really thought of streaming back then, or even like recording stuff. I guess some people recorded stuff, but it wasn't really a thing. So just things got lost. Like I'd say it happened with Sesame Street, but it also happened with Doctor Who. Doctor Who just some episodes are just missing. They only have the audio, and they have to just make a little animation for it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Uh, and uh, they're just. I mean, you would want to watch and stream and probably binge all of Doctor Who just to know what the story's about. But it's really hard when a lot of the episodes are just missing. So sadly, there's no manga for it that you can just read. I don't think, but that would be really cool. I think a manga for Doctor Who. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that'd make a lot.
Uh, that would be cool, wouldn't it? I was gonna say too with Sesame Street, there is that. I think you know of this, right? The crack master.
Oh, yeah, Cragmaster short.
Oh
Yeah,
my,
a lot.
terrifying.
Yeah, it was terrifying. Well, I mean, terrifying to a kid, maybe, creepy to an adult.
Yeah,
A lot of times, like I said earlier, stuff gets lost mainly because whoever made it doesn't want it out, especially with kid shows too. This one, I think that was not released or no, not released. I mean, taken off the air because it was deemed too scary for kids. So, years and years later, after the invention of the internet, someone again on Reddit says, "Hey, does anybody remember this short about like cracks? A Sesame Street short where there's cracks in the wall and a girl imagines that they're animals, and then the crack animals come to life and they go on like a little crack adventure." It's sweet, but it did look a little creepy. And to some 5-year-old maybe, and maybe some moms too, it was scary, right? Terrifying. So they took it off the air. And everyone forgot about it until this one guy was like, "Yeah, I remember seeing that." So this person was absolutely determined to watch this again. But he knew that it wasn't anywhere on the internet or anywhere on like a VHS or whatever. So the best thing he could do was just go and post about it everywhere. So somebody who might have it takes notice of it. And it worked. Um, Apparently, the story goes, according to him, that he gets a fax from a completely anonymous person basically telling them that that they have the original film reel of the Crack short, and they will share it with him under one condition. He watches it, he gets to keep it, but he cannot show it to anyone else.
that's so dumb.
It's dumb, but this guy was determined to see it. So he said, yeah, he returned a signed contract saying that he was not going to at all release this or show it to anyone, and he sent it back, and fingers crossed, they'll send him the reel. And months went by, and he figured, they were just bullshitting me. I guess I just signed some random ass contract. Hope that doesn't bite me later. And he gets I think a flash drive in the mail containing the original Cracked film. He
The
watches it.
crack master.
Crack. So he watches it and he goes online to confirm, yeah, these whoever that was just sent me exactly what I'm looking for. It exists. I just can't show it to anyone, which really sucks. And for years, people could only speculate and beg for him to release at least a snippet or something. So the only thing he could do was he would send out invites to his friends and they'd come over to his house and watch Crackmaster. Um, he copied word for word the script and he read it out loud on YouTube, but no audio or screenshots or anything could be shown of the actual movie. And people were pretty disappointed, and we thought that was it. That was it. We're never gonna see Crackmaster unless someone goes and, like, steals this guy's, film his flash drive, like Mission Impossible style. Until another bigger YouTuber, who I forgot who, made a video on Crackmaster saying, "Yeah, that's what happened. We don't know where it is." And this person gets an email saying, "All right, you know what? It's been a while. I have it. I can send it to you. I found it." And they're like, "Yeah, yeah, right, man. Share it." And they do. Again, it's an anonymous person sharing the Crack Master. And there it is. This YouTuber gets the actual Crack Master film. It's found and they release it. And to this day, you could just go on YouTube and watch Crack Master. It's
I
pretty cool.
mean, yeah, the only thing with when it comes to the Crackmaster is, there's not really anyone listed under that like that made it, you know what I'm saying? They're all very like secretive about it. And they all want to hide in the shadows.
I think that's kind of why it has the reputation it does is no one knows really who made it or who was the person that had it. Probably the person who made it. That answers that. Um, who sent out the film reel or the flash drive, but why weren't they allowed to release it? Why only to this one person? And who was the second person who had it and was completely fine with it being released?
I don't
It's
know. It's
it's
wow.
all very mysterious.
Yeah. Uh I don't know. I mean, with the Crackmaster, who really wants to see it besides people that originally watched it? You know what I'm saying?
And nostalgia.
Yeah, probably. But I mean, speaking of like those old cartoons, there was that one, the Clock Man. It had basically the same story, but they weren't really as secretive as them. It was just like an older cartoon on Nickelodeon that they showed. Know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah,
It
that
was
one.
like it was like a foreign cartoon too, and it was like in the same style as like South Park in that way. Oh, well, the first episode of South Park with
Oh,
the
yeah, like
cutout,
free
yeah,
yeah.
and I don't know. When it comes to those, it's like a lot of them are just lost because they were kind of creepy. You know what I'm saying? So who wanted to watch those again? I was gonna say with there's Crybaby Lane, for example. They had the same thing, right? Where
Yeah.
it was just it's a creepy film on Nickelodeon, and it was about like these kids that I think it was a kid that died on Crybaby Lane. I don't even know the story of the movie, but basically it was just too scary for people to watch, and they couldn't even handle it. Do you remember the plot of Crybaby Lane?
I actually don't, not 'cause I never saw Crybaby Lane. I just know, like, the lost media search
Oh,
story of that.
definitely, yeah. It only showed like once, but then they rebroadcasted it, and now I think you
Yeah.
could probably even watch it on YouTube. It's definitely not the I mean, I don't know. A lot of things when it comes to television, I feel like that's more where it's like, why would you even want to watch it again?
Yeah.
Because TV is not really made for wanting to watch stuff again unless it's like a series or something like that. But with movies, it's different. It's like its own little thing.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, that though is nostalgia, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Oh, there's also Rude Removal from Dexter's Laboratory that was shown. That one people wanted to just see because they wanted to see them swear and all that, and that was
Yeah.
really funny because they released. I don't even no, they didn't even release it because it's like it had swears, but people heard about it, and then they were like, "Let me watch it," and they were like, "Yep, sure,"
Yeah, that's
and I think they
swears.
showed it. Rude removal is just like more of like a canceled thing, and then it can't actually. Well, I guess it was recorded, so I guess it wasn't canceled, but more of a
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, do you have any TV things you wanted to mention?
Let's see. I know there's like a lot of there's a pretty vast amount of TV shows that like got pilot that are like their pilots are missing. Okay, well, this is the first thing that comes to mind. But the original Family Guy pilot is missing.
Mm,
The Jackass pilot is missing. The one that they showed to MTV and like, "Hey, this is what we can do." And like, "Hey, that's great. You know what? From this one pilot, we are going to greenlight you guys." And that pilot has never been released.
dang.
But I think that a lot of times it's just because, they're like, who cares? You got a whole show." Oh, wait. Drake and Josh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The pedophile.
Oh, yeah, that's right. The, pilot for that is Lost Media too.
Oh,
The
bruh.
original pilot. And, it was pretty widely available for a
Yeah.
while, hosted on Dan Schneider's YouTube channel. And one day, Dan, for some reason, was like, "Hey, you know what? I'm not really feeling this." And he just, like, deleted it. So it's gone, and surprisingly, everyone just thought that it was since it's on the internet, it'll be there forever. We don't have to worry. But no one fucking archived it, so it's gone now. It's lost media.
Dude. I mean, who really wants to see a pilot for Drake and Josh that isn't just the beginning of Drake and Josh? Because I mean,
Yeah.
the first episode that's out already is based, or maybe not even the first episode that's out, but there is an episode where it basically explains the plot of Drake
Yeah.
and Josh, where they're like, "Come in here, kids. We're getting married." That's it.
Yeah.
So
Fact, it's like not anything we haven't seen before either. It's like exactly the same as the released pilot. It's just like the released pilot was just reshot.
yeah,
There's not really that many differences.
that's good.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I mean, yeah, when it comes to TV, there's not too many things that are interesting when it comes to what's not out. But some people, I mean, I guess you guys saw a theme where it's like they were scared of it, then they wanted it out, or maybe it was just too edgy, but they
Yeah.
wanted it out so they could
Hurting.
watch it.
That's
All right
fair.
then. You want to go to the next topic then?
Sure.
All right. Internet. There's not too many things here. It's just usually like just some YouTubers that release something and then they just don't. Well, it's just lost forever. I'm gonna start off with this one. We actually have a few lost episodes of this podcast. There is the first one that was recorded that was basically the same as the first episode, which was about 2022 going to 2023 with my boy Eli. There was I think it was like episode 22. It was what was his name? Carlos. We were talking about the state of the film industry. That one had to be re-recorded because the recording actually got expired. So we had to re-record that because it was just gone. We couldn't get it. And then this one, this episode, which is funny because This is all about lost media, and this will be always an episode that is lost. The first recording of this podcast. The only ones that know about it is just me and a Roman. And I guess now you guys know, but you guys didn't hear it
Real.
for real. I gotta down. I mean, I gotta download it first because maybe I'll upload that one as well as the pilot. I guess the pilot. It's funny because the pilot's not even like a pilot that was made. Like from Pulp Fiction, it's like, oh, the pilot is made so
Yeah.
that you see if you want to do it. No, it was literally made, and then I was like, nope, I want to start off something else. So yeah, it's good though that we recorded a second time because now it's a lot better than the first one, I'd say. But no, I mean it's funny because we stuck to it. The theme, lost media. Uh, Roman, do you have any YouTubers you can think of or any internet things that are just lost media?
Yeah, the internet actually, I take back what I said about film. The internet out of almost anything has the most lost media,
Yeah,
which is kinda sad and ironic because I remember back in elementary school and middle school when kids were just starting to use the internet, we were always taught that if something gets uploaded, it's on there forever. But that's not true at
yeah, the
all.
Streisand effect.
Yeah. Nothing lasts forever. Well, some things last forever on the internet, but a lot of things don't. Um, like the I don't know why this is the first example that came to mind, but a while back, Pornhub deleted every single video that was not under a verified account. Now,
It's
I'd be
funny
saying,
that you brought
"Why
that up.
matter? You just like on Pornhub all the time?" Yes, all right, but that's not why I mentioned this. Turns out that Pornhub getting rid of every video that's not verified is now the biggest example of suddenly lost media in internet history. Out of everything on the internet, nothing has been more lost than everything on Pornhub. The biggest example. It's like the burning of the Library of Alexandria.
Yeah, I mean,
Millions and millions and millions of videos. That's for the best, honestly. But that's just kind of funny that if you were to like put a list of the biggest pieces of lost examples of lost media, and Pornhub is at number one.
you know how it is. When it
Yeah.
comes to the internet, it's mostly just creators uploading stuff, and I mean, if it's missing, it's missing. It's like JonTron, AVGN. Even Mumkey Jones has some missing videos. Mumkey Jones is a very special case, mainly just because he was just terminated. So
Yeah.
people just have to archive his videos now. And, there are just some episodes that most likely you'll never be able to see, but you'll probably find it somewhere if
Yeah.
people care enough. He's,
Because he made a lot of like Elliot Rodger videos, and I
yeah,
guess the YouTube the YouTube gods were like, "Ah, man, can't be having all that," so they took most of that down.
yeah. Susan's just a horse. Let's just say,
A literal whole horse.
yeah, definitely. No, I don't know. I mean,
Another oh,
yeah.
sorry.
No, no, you say what you were gonna say.
I was gonna say that, I'm sure a lot of people are aware of MySpace.
Oh,
Um,
yeah?
when MySpace shut down, they shut down their servers with them. So they basically had a notice that said, "Hey guys, we're gonna be shutting down our services very soon. So you have to archive whatever you posted. You gotta save it or else it's gonna be gone." And the thing about MySpace is most people that did use MySpace probably don't use it anymore because MySpace is very much a thing of the past. So a lot of people probably didn't get the memo that their entire accounts and everything that they posted, everything that their friends and family posted is just going to disappear. And it did.
Oh,
Um, Most of MySpace is gone. Most of the original posts from MySpace are gone. And a lot from that era of the internet, like GeoCities, a um, a website that allowed you to create websites.
hmm,
A lot of people in the 1990s and early 2000s and early 2010s too used this site to make like personal blogs, personal websites, and a lot of that is gone too, because I guess they stopped paying um, paying for the website, and after a certain amount of time, it'll just delete on its own. Um, Either that or whatever server the website is being hosted on just isn't supported anymore, usually by, Google's update to update, Flash. So everything that was connected to Flash, well, not everything, most things that were connected to Flash that weren't converted over were deleted too. So most of the internet is starting to slowly disappear, or at
dang.
least older internet.
Well, that makes sense. Yeah. I was gonna say, there's also like the Walt, not Walt files, but like the Walt videos. You know what I'm talking about for Breaking Bad. There were
No,
some
I don't.
videos. Yeah,
I
there were
don't.
some videos that were made for Breaking Bad. Totally forgot what they were called. I think they were called Walt's warnings. Yeah, they're basically just like videos where it's like a POV shot video of Walt threatening you in
That's
multiple
pretty
ways.
funny, and it's
Yeah, and I think it's like different names too, like Brandon, John, stuff like that. Yeah, I think you could send in a name and then they customize the video or something. Maybe not customize the video, but like, they would have a bunch of names on there that he said.
oh, wait, so was it like the same message, but,
Yeah, just a
you said
different name. Yeah.
so they don't have, like, the original message at all?
They just don't have all the
Oh,
versions of them, I don't
oh, I
think.
mean, that's not a huge deal. I mean, if he's just saying John versus Lindsay, doesn't really matter if he doesn't say.
I meant that I think they're missing certain because there were multiple videos of it made without the name changes, because there were different like ones you could get, and those are some of those are missing. Kind of like how with um going back to TV for a second, there's like like a astrology with Squidward,
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
Um yeah, there's some of those that are missing. It's basically like that, but just the name thing is just that's not really a part of the
Okay,
part
yeah.
that's missing. It's just the different clips that were
Nickelodeon
used.
has a bit of lost media. Like,
Definitely. We just brought them up. What's up?
yeah, have you heard of the show called You Can't Do That on Television?
Yeah, what about it?
So, surprisingly, a lot of it is lost because
Dude.
it really popular back in the day, and it even, is the reason that Nickelodeon has green slime at all, because the whole green slime and, like, getting slime, this things at, like, the Kids' Choice Awards was
Yeah.
brought because of this show. This show invented that. But, unfortunately, Nickelodeon decided, "Hey, we're gonna air more cartoons and less live action shows or whatever." So, that show kinda got in the past, got, like, left in the past, and you can stream parts of You Can't Do That on Television on Paramount Plus, but a huge chunk of the show is still lost. Like, I'm pretty sure you can only watch 4 or 5 seasons out of the 11 or 12 that were originally aired,
Aw, dude.
that are either just, like, on streaming in terrible not streaming, that are on YouTube in terrible quality, or ones that are just completely gone, like you can't watch at all.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, that makes sense. Uh, did you want to go to the next topic, video games, or do you have other stuff to say about the internet?
Yeah, I will say one more thing because I still don't have a lot to say about video games besides like one example.
Hmm.
Because I'm as a person who does look for lost media, I mainly just look for like my own like the topics like the internet. Because
Yeah.
the internet, you can access that. If it's posted on the internet, then it's got to be somewhere. Opposed to something like a film that was shown in like the 20s during the silent era. You gotta like go out of your way and start looking in like basements and attics to find that. But internet, it's somewhere. You could do that in the comfort of your own home. But a pretty big example of lost media that's like exploding right now is the original Jeff the Killer image.
Oh my.
So I'm sure everyone who's on the internet has seen the Jeff the Killer image of like him like smiling and like go to sleep.
Just go to sleep.
Go to sleep. Also, by the way, the story for that is fucking awful. I can't believe I was
Cringe.
scared of that as a kid. But apparently, the original image of the Jeff the Killer image that everyone knows is actually an edited version, and that's not the original at all. So this search kind of starts where someone finds a YouTube video that dates back to 2006, a Japanese like horror video, and they notice Jeff the Killer is shown in the video. And they think, hey, wait a minute, 2006? Dang, this picture is a lot older than I thought. Because the original creepypasta that was uploaded sometime in 2012, 2013, claimed that the writer of the creepypasta made the image. But that can't be anymore because they clearly see the Jeff the Killer image in this video that dates back to 2006. So people start doing a little digging and digging and chatting around, and they find that like I said, Jeff the Killer was an edited picture of something or someone. So now the new goal is to try to find what the original image is and you know what eventually turned into the edited killer we know today. So they kept searching and searching, and back on a old 2005 Japanese internet forum, they found a early picture of Jeff the Killer that isn't the same one that we know today, but a alternate version that was made before the one we know today. With very subtle differences. Like instead of the big smile on there, it's more like a grin with teeth. And instead of, I guess, the pale white eyes, it's more realistic eyes.
Hmm.
So that one dates back to around 2004, 2005. And that leads some people to believe that the image goes farther back than that. So there is a subreddit that is dedicated to just finding this original Jet the Killer image. And let me see how many people are on it. It has around, I guess I can't find it. It has, I guess, thousands and thousands of people on it looking for the original Jet the Killer image.
Hmm. I mean, yeah. I don't even know who would want to see that, you know?
It'd be
Because,
cool. Yeah, like I just like out of curiosity. It's just it
yeah,
really like takes a lot to look for it.
some girl, right? So,
That's the rumor.
yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I guess everyone on the internet just wants to see some girl, so.
Yeah, that's
Anyway,
the
yeah.
objective.
Oh, yeah, of course. All right. let's go to the next topic. I'll most likely just talk about what I want to talk about, then you can, because you don't have too much to talk about with this one. Video games. So, video games, I feel like it's the least amount of lost media, I'd say, or at least the ones that are you know, like who even, you know, cares?
Yeah.
But so I'm gonna mention like two of them, and I think he wants to talk a little bit about one of these. Mean Girls number one. I mean, we wear pink. I mean, who wouldn't want to play that? You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. I mean, I know it came out, but there's just really no copies of it out there. And there were a few reasons why no one really played it. There's Lindsay Lohan, who is Lindsay Lohan. So
Lindsay,
during that time, what's up?
the nostalgia chick?
Yeah, well, just during that time. Well, no, it's Lindsay Lohan, a very famous actress and singer. I think she
Oh,
was just not she was in the public eye as a negative figure and influence because she drank a lot. She was just, a very violent person, and no one really wanted that. And then there was also the fact that they were having this for like a video game console that almost no one used anymore. They were using other video game consoles. So, makes sense why no one really played with it or know about it. And then there's this one, the McDonald's training DS game. I think it even came with its own Nintendo DS or something with an M.
oh yeah.
So it was in Japan, you know. So they were just saying, just do this, and it's a little fun game for you to learn about it. I don't think it was for newer employees. I think it was for employees that already knew how to do their thing, but they just wanted to make sure that they knew what's up. Because I feel like if that's your first, glimpse of the work, the game, you're not going to be really good at your job. But if
Mm,
it's a helpful thing for you when you're actually working a job, then maybe. But I don't know what their logic was. That's why it's lost. I mean, it's just dumb, and who would even want to play it outside of working or training for McDonald's, you know? So, how it
yeah.
is. And then there's Action 52. He actually made a very amazing short film about Action 52. And no,
Amazing.
it was amazing, yeah. No, I mean, Action 52, the game really isn't lost. I'm pretty sure it's just rare, but there's like I think something with the Cheetah Men that's very rare or lost, and also I think there's a Nintendo port that's just never made. Do you know anything about the Action 52 lore when it comes to being lost?
The only lost thing I can think of is there was a lot of I think that there's like a comic and
Yeah, there
possibly
was a comic.
a show that was supposed to release,
Hmm.
but it never got made and never got finished. So there does exist content that just never was released.
Yeah,
Um,
but it was just a bad game, you
yeah,
know.
yeah. I mean,
So,
the yeah was 52 games in one
and most
cartridge.
of them were just shooter games.
Yeah, basically like the same thing repeated.
Yeah, like no, all of them were just that one shooter game. What's that one shooter game called? Uh,
Um,
it's like
it's
in the
is it?
arcade.
Oh, it's Space Invaders.
Yeah, Space Invaders. Like it's basically just that. So if you played that, you played Action 52. All right. I guess if you haven't played Cheetah Men, then I guess you haven't really played a.
Haven't lived.
But who really has played Cheetah Men? I think that was its own separate game. Anyway, did you have any other video game stuff you wanted to bring up?
I do have one small one.
All right.
And then that's it.
Okay,
But
that's fine.
Zelda 64.
Oh,
Well, Nintendo was working on Ocarina of Time, or at least experimenting with the 64 pixels for like, the Nintendo 64. They were working on their Zelda game, and it was originally going to be called Zelda 64. Now, very, very, very little is known about this, but I think at one of their a Nintendo convention where they like showed off what they're working on, they showed a teaser for a game that was called Zelda 64. And from the short teaser that we have of this, it looks vastly different than Ocarina of Time. Um, the graphics look different, the art style is different. Link is fighting um fighting a skeleton thing using a sword that was not in the final game. Neither was, I think, the enemy he was fighting. And we got this short teaser of this thing called Zelda 64, and people were pretty excited at the time for, oh my God, I can't wait for Zelda 64. And it releases, and it's Ocarina of Time. Sure, it is Legend of Zelda on the Nintendo 64. I don't give a shit if this is considered the greatest game of all time. I wanted Nintendo Zelda 64. So Zelda 64 is still pretty much a mystery of what would have been on it. It could have just been the exact same thing, but no, we'll never know. Definitely content does exist of it if they were able to show off something. But hey, who knows?
who
I
knows? I mean, at the end of the day, all this media is either lost or not lost anymore. I don't even know what I meant by that. Anyway, that's all you had to say with video games?
I will say it's weird how everyone hyper fixated on Mean Girls on the DS for some reason.
I
Like
don't know.
the
I just
only
think it's really
reason
funny.
Yeah, the only reason anybody noticed it was lost is because it was like, "Hey, wait a minute, wasn't that game supposed to come out a few years ago?" And then all of a sudden, everyone cares about it. And I remember back in the day too, while it was still lost, somebody put like a pretty expensive bounty of maybe like $500 to $600 to anybody who could find Mean Girls on the Nintendo DS.
Yeah.
But it's kinda interesting what the internet picks and chooses what they wanna search for. Like, now that Lost Media is pretty big, in fact, there's some YouTubers that pretty much have careers off of just talking about Lost Media, like Blame It on George or Jorge.
Blame it on Jorge. Yeah.
That guy gets millions of views, like, per video, just talking about
Exactly.
Lost Media.
There's also the Lost Media Wiki, which is very reliable when it comes to
Yeah.
looking all this stuff up.
So,
And they even have
yeah.
merch for some reason. What?
Honestly, man, I'd be rocking Lost Media merch.
Yeah, I would be
That's
too.
rip.
Yeah. All right then. You have anything else to say about just Lost Media in general or anything?
Other than that, I think that's about it. We've talked about
All
quite a
right. Yeah, that's good. All right then. We can end the video there. So Roman, do you have anything you'd like to shout out or any social medias or anything like that? Any work you're
I'd like
doing?
I'd like to shout out my Instagram, Roman_explores.
All right. Make sure to link that. Anything else?
Thanks for having me on.
That's awesome. Yeah. Don't worry about it, man. I was gonna say, guys, just let me know how you felt about Roman in the comments below. Let me know if you'd like to hear from him again. I sure do. Thanks for listening to this week's podcast, and you will see me next week talking to somebody else about something else. So yeah, hope you like this video about Lost Media. Maybe you'll even listen to the original version. Who knows? Maybe I'll release it. I don't know. It might be lost forever. But yeah, I'll see you guys next week. All right. Bye.